split it back.
Okay.
Where's your paper, Larry?
Right here.
Yo, I was gonna say, motherfucker.
I didn't bring mine. I was getting both.
Oh, shady for real.
I was hoping we both forgot
Fucking
it.
shady. I meant to have it here so we could study. I was trying to get here early for everything.
And you suck. So
You do too.
thank you. I'm a Christian now.
Don't mean you don't suck. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, that means.
You might suck a little more. Jesus.
Damn.
I'm a Christian. We're live. Lord Jesus. I'm a Christian, people. Don't do that.
What's up, Kenesha? I ain't see you in a minute, Cal. Where you been at, shorty? Okay.
What is he talking to like that?
Kenesha.
Bro, check the levels. Make sure we ain't
We
muted.
already did that.
Nah,
we
we
already.
already-
You're too late.
Ooh. Ooh.
You didn't even do it.
Swole
You didn't do
face.
nothing. You just sat here and
Actually,
I gave
she-
a motivational speech.
And she checked
I
her
spoke
levels.
into the mic.
Yep, she checked her levels.
she was trying to sing, wasn't she?
Mm-mm.
But my levels ain't checked, so.
We did.
No, we did, George.
How?
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 Talking to your mic.
You don't. Tawan talks into the mic a certain way.
No, but I
You
moved
lean
back.
like all you do. How you?
I don't
do
lean
is
back there. I don't lean back there. I'll be right here just looking at you motherfuckers.
What's up, Raymond? What's up, Miss Larry's mom?
Miss Myra, bro? You can say Miss Myra.
Mom, shout out to the people on YouTube. Yeah, so we about to get started here in a second. Our topic is domestic
Take a
hit
moment,
home.
hit that share button.
Hit that share button
Greatly
right at the
appreciate it.
bottom. Yeah, we will appreciate that. What's
Brought the
up,
wave cap back
Raymond?
for the baby tail do-rag wearing. What's up, Ray?
Yeah, here go Mano with
Take a
that gum.
moment. We'll be. I swear, I start. All right, take a
Damn,
moment.
of
Go
course.
ahead and hit that share button. And if you hit the share button, you can also invite people into the conversation.
Thank you, Miss Larry's mom, for giving us the heart.
Miss Larry's mom.
Just call her Miss Myra, bro. Just
Don't tell me
Miss
how.
Larry's mom.
Yeah, dang, that's how we going. That's how we
Well,
going
I
to dress
can't
that.
wait till your mom
in the
come.
hood.
You know what? I'm
My
gonna get your
mom's on
mom's
YouTube.
number and I'm gonna have her call into the show.
That's how we do it in the hood.
All right.
Oh, she on YouTube, so
call
that's
her-
why you ignore YouTube.
You don't find anybody by their first name.
right now.
She over there.
Once
She
I
ain't
do the
been
intro.
calling you, talking like, y'all go live yet? She ain't called yet.
She did call earlier.
Yo, she always called. And it was before the show started?
No, she called like right before, like right when you went to the
Concerned,
bathroom.
Like, why ain't y'all start?
She said, "Y'all might."
No, like last time she called at like 5.
She was like, she
well,
was
now
like,
she knows. She was on it this time.
She be out here.
she was like, "Y'all motherfuckers is late as hell." I'm like, that was
Let her
hilarious.
support her baby. Okay.
Swear.
First he said y'all was late. I was like, no correction, Larry was late.
Yeah, I've been struggling.
Let's get that together.
It was a struggle to even get over here, bro.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy.
Dang, I know, like, Justina was like, dang, I could have had $50,000 in life insurance, but he made it.
Oh,
Swear. My mama too.
Hey,
They would have had a quick come up.
I ain't gonna tell you how much I'll get, or Will would get if I pass away. I don't want nobody plotting against me.
damn.
Gotta get you out of here.
All right, we're gonna start this, John, right here. What's up, Carly?
Conversation 412 Coke in the Mano, Pittsburgh, what it?
And Brittany.
Right?
We in the city of bridges, we in the city.
Yo, every time, like, I'm here and she invites me to the show every time.
I did. I just did. Well, I ain't invite you. I just shared, tagged your dude. What's your name?
The city is
Invite
costly,
you every
man, the
shit like
city is costly, but yeah, the city is mine. For 1, 2 times.
She said she's crying, Miss Larry's mom.
Money is time, you know time is money.
That's the hood version right there.
No,
That's
but-
somebody's mom by her first name or last name.
You know what's so crazy? Your mom scares me.
I know, she scares a lot of people.
Cause her face is like so mean.
No, that's because she's blind as hell and she'll never wear her glasses or go
But
get
her
new
face,
ones.
be like,
Same.
her face be like this.
That's on my face too. I got my glasses on, trying to concentrate.
What's up, Bree?
That's crazy. She's funny as hell. But you live with her for long enough and you see through all of that. She's soft for real.
What's up, people? This is Common Conversation 412, and we are live.
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 Life. Go here for me to say it.
I am your host, Token.
And I am Mano, M-A-N-N-O.
Your girl B Brown in the building.
What? She came up.
Okay.
You heavy-handed. Chill, bro.
Sorry, Justina. I want to send back home no bruised products. Hey, Julius.
What's up, Julius? Yeah, so yeah, we are.
You have to blow it up because let me run smoothly into the beat.
We are live,
That
man.
was
and-
crazy. I was feeling that low key, like
And-
B Brown in the bit. I was feeling it.
Yeah, I was feeling it too. So yeah, so our
Do it no
topic,
more, though,
our
but-
topic today is
You invite me, I'm inviting you.
our topic today is domestic
Hits home.
hits home. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about. So yeah, that's what. I'm sorry, I had
That was petty.
the volume going in there. Also, so if you feel like you want to give your opinion, feel free to text us at 412-339-0922. You could text us and participate in the conversation live over the phone. Your voice will be shared with everyone who's watching us on Facebook and YouTube, and will be on iTunes and Google Play Music, Podcast Addict, all across the world. So,
Pals in the building. Shout out Julius.
oh yeah, okay. Okay, yeah. Shout out to Julius. He looks
Courtney.
sophisticated in his thing. Hey, mom, like just saying it. Like now you coming out giving her two names. Her name ain't Mama Law. Her name is Miss Larry's mom.
Right.
But yeah, so that's what we're gonna be talking about today.
Mom law to her. Sheesh.
I mean,
You better
I
chill,
guess
bro.
maybe
yeah. So
waiting on you.
So,
for that.
but before we hit our topic, we got some stuff we're going to talk about. So, this is a little segment we're going to call Around the U.S., and we're going to talk about some stuff that's going on around the U.S. We probably cover like maybe 2 to 3 stories or whatever like that. Just to talk about it briefly before we go into our topic. So, first thing I want to talk about, I'm not sure if any of you guys heard about it or not, but it's the Tide Pod Challenge. I don't know if you heard it.
I think it is the dumbest challenge next to the cinnamon challenge and the ice and salt
well,
challenge.
see,
No,
I
bro,
know.
they're chilling. They're doing too much.
Well, the ice and salt challenge is bad. The cinnamon challenge,
It actually
okay.
burns you.
I
You
mean,
could die from that challenge too.
okay, whatever. But
Let's give
what's
a
up,
brief
Bella?
description. The Tide Pod Challenge is those little detergent pods
Yep.
that you wash your clothes with. People are like biting into them and eating them, and then they're posting a video
Yeah,
online.
yeah, and that's what they're doing. And like you see people
And
like
the whole challenge is to get through a whole Tide Pod, get it down and everything. And that's honestly, like, motherfuckers is risking their life for attention.
yeah,
Right.
they are.
Literally.
Hey, what's up, Stephanie? Happy birthday to Stephanie. I want to say happy birthday to you. I meant to
Happy
text you
birthday, Steph.
earlier.
What's up, Bella?
He's fake. But
No,
that's cool.
no,
Happy birthday.
but happy birthday. Thanks
happy
for
birthday, Steph.
joining. Yeah, so that's that's a challenge, and I was watching it. I seen a couple videos. I'm like, that is so stupid. Then people really are just like sitting there, just biting it, like, and it, like, you know what I mean, just putting it in
Letting
their
it
mouth.
burst and thinking shit.
Yeah,
Like on there, it literally says "do not eat."
yeah.
Like any other challenge is like it don't say "do not eat." It say edible or some shit. But you want to go with something literally that can kill you.
And see, and
Fuck-
my thing is too. Now you got these kids watching you. And
Exactly.
they're like, oh, let me do this. This is cool. Like,
Yeah.
no, you can die from eating.
Just like whenever they had,
Avoid.
remember the YP up Northview, the little young girl. She was like 8. She
Oh
died
yeah.
because
Well, no, she was like
huffing air
12.
freshener.
Yeah, the air
I've seen that.
freshener. Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
huffing
the
air
huffing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
That
was
was
so
really
crazy.
unfortunate.
Kanisha said the new generation is doing the dumbass challenges. They are.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're not
and-
even fun challenges though. Like
We
that's
said
literally
natural
something that's bad for
selection,
you.
Yeah,
She got a point.
yeah, and
That's fucked up.
we also said weeding
can't-
out the weak and useless. I mean, yeah,
Look,
like
if there was a zombie
up, Mom?
apocalypse, I'm glad that they're all gone
yeah,
because they're useless.
they are.
No, they zombies now. Bring your dumb ass on.
That's true.
Yeah, that is kind of true. But yeah, so like, you know, I mean, that is dumb. Like, that's kind of stupid. What's up,
That's
Lamont? Yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna blame the rappers for people doing dumbass challenges. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Mumble
Blame the
rap.
parents.
Mumble rap is the new little thing and stuff like that.
You can only blame the rappers for the
Monkey
for,
see,
like,
monkey
the
do.
influence
Yeah,
when it
Julius.
comes to like trying new drugs and this, that, and the third, because they put that media, that platform just broadcasts as, oh, it's
But
cool
see,
to do this.
Somebody's gonna find out a way to get high off the damn pods, and then it's gonna be like
Oh my
the pod
gosh.
high challenge next.
Yeah.
You don't
It's
have
gonna
to.
be
You're
crazy.
Going-
supposed
start
to
injecting
microwave
yourself.
it.
Yeah.
Then you gotta lick it twice. I don't fucking know. It's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna be something
Larry tried it,
stupid.
apparently.
Yeah,
It didn't work.
because he just told us
Back
step
to
by
the drawing
step.
board.
Put it
I
on for
think I
30
did 30
seconds.
seconds and it was supposed to be 45. My
That's
bad.
funny.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but you know, it's just
45 cool down for 5 seconds.
shut up,
It's going
shut
work.
up, shut
It's
up.
going fucking work.
So and then another story is so I'm not sure if you heard about this, but this was in California. These this married couple, these parents, they have 13 children. They had all 13
shit.
13 children. Yeah.
That was in the notes.
Yep. Well, no, I didn't put that in the notes.
It was
But-
13 kids ranging from 29 to 2.
No, well, from 2 to 29.
Yeah.
And then so they got found. They was tied and chained in a basement. And the only reason why they got found was because the one daughter, who was 17 years old, escaped, ran and went to the police station and stuff like that, and made the report. But the police said that she was, even though she's 17 and she was so malnourished, and like, you know what I mean, and shit, like she looked like she was 10 years old.
That's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean? And
crazy.
and so,
that's something that actually happens in real life where you don't eat enough, so you don't look your age. Your body does not allow
no, they
to
weren't.
grow
They weren't the
properly.
grandparents. What's up, Lamar? Nice to see you in here, brother.
See, Nisha, I have to kind of disagree with that, because sometimes there are situations where people really don't know. Like the abuse that was going on in my home, maybe outside of my parents, like my school, people didn't know because I was able to put on that front. And these kids weren't going to school.
Well,
Like,
yeah, they were
chained up
homeschooled.
in the
They got
basement.
licensed as a homeschool. But what else is so crazy? What's so crazy was that these parents would renew their vows like every year or every other year. But the kids will go out in public and just have a smile on their face. That's what the guy who did it, like, you know what I mean, because they use the
Because
same guy
they're-
every
they're-
time.
That mental
trained
abuse.
to.
Stockholm
Trained to.
syndrome and stuff and shit like that. So it was so crazy. What's up, Yogi? How you doing? Yeah. So so that was crazy, and you know what I mean. Good thing the authorities stepped in. So the children are in. And I guess in California they call it CPS, and then the ones who are older than 18 are in APS. But so there were 7 minors, and the rest were no. I'm sorry. Well, there was 6 minors, and I'm sorry, 8 minors. I'm sorry, 8 minors and
up,
5 that was
Seven.
adults. That was over the age of 18 because the girl was 17. So yeah, no, it was so crazy. What's up, Eric? It was so crazy, and like, you know what I mean. So I mean, we'll follow up. I want to see what else happens with them,
definitely
but
wanna follow the story.
yeah.
That's
So that's
crazy.
that's two of the stories. Yeah, but you don't know what they're.
The thing is,
you don't know what they're
mentally
doing.
abused and they were malnourished, so they didn't really have the strength to fight back. They
Yeah,
could
right.
really walk.
I-
Like, you had
I
a 17-year-old
can't-
that looked 10 years old.
I can't say a 17 or 29-year-old to get up because they're trying to survive. So if their survival means shutting up and sitting down,
Yeah.
then you're going to do that. And even when you go in public, you're so brainwashed to believe that this is only your existence, or you don't want to blow the horn because you have smaller children that if you leave and run away, you know that that your smaller siblings are going to take the brunt of that abuse.
Yeah.
And also,
So you
whenever
rather stay.
when it comes to, like, you got the fear of
That
your
is the
parents,
fact,
that's
Mom.
still your parents. So you got
Yeah.
that bond too,
Yeah.
that you don't want to, you know what I mean, break it or be misleading or, you know what I mean, just
Yeah,
basically
I mean,
trade on a parent.
and that's you know what I mean, and it's so crazy. Like, you know what I mean, we would all think, hey, I would do this in a situation, but also we don't know what we will do until we're put in that situation, or unless we're
Right.
put in that situation. It's so crazy. It's so crazy, and it's just mind blowing. Like, I don't know. That shit like just fucked with me when I seen that yesterday. Because when I first seen it, I seen it from like one of them news sources, and I'm like, okay, is this a real story? And then I had to go and I did some research, and I'm like, okay, this shit's real. I want to share this on the show today. Yeah. So yeah. True definition of fear is so sad. I mean, it is. It is. It's real sad. So, like I said, our topic today is domestics hit home, and we're going to talk a little bit about domestic violence. We're going to talk about the girl at the pizza shop and that situation. Yeah, Miss J. We're going to talk about her, Francis, and just that story. And so I guess we'll start with that. Like, you know what I mean? So what were y'all reactions when you first seen the video?
Man, I wasn't sure if I was more mad at the person filming it or the guy who actually assaulted her. I think I was equally as mad that the people, not just the person filming it, but the people sitting in the restaurant never stepped in and say, let me help this woman out. You know, and then there's a report came out that he said he fell into her and his head accidentally head-butted her.
Nah.
And then he said when he was on the ground with her,
Nah.
he was telling her like to basically stop or trying to help her up. Like, man.
No, that's not. I mean, but the video shows otherwise, though.
Right.
So the video
but even still, like, if that dude got a bomb lawyer, there's ways to get out of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like really offended that she got arrested for trespassing, which she should have left, but still, like, she's a victim in the situation right now.
I mean, she
You know what
is.
I mean? I was really proud of. Hold on, I'll say this. I was really proud of my black people for really coming together, protesting. I wish I could have been there. I was in Virginia, but the next day, tomorrow, if there's one tomorrow, I'm definitely going to be there. So,
I mean, yeah, and so I mean, Mando, you got just the initial reaction to seeing the initial video.
Okay.
Don't go don't jump too far.
There was like levels to it because at first I didn't know what anybody was talking about, so I was going off of hearsay.
Yeah.
And I'm not the type to jump to conclusion. I wait until
Right.
I hear something. Actually see what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come to my own conclusion.
You do
Get
your
some of the
research,
facts and take
yeah.
my
Right.
time. When I first seen it, I was watching it and I'm like, okay. Up until she started to get assaulted, she was in the wrong.
Right. I would agree with that. I felt the same way.
But once she started to get assaulted, that's where I was like, okay, Doc, you're going too far. You're doing way too much.
Right.
Yeah.
Like all of that wasn't till for one drunk woman. It's not all of that's not necessary. And it really
Now,
bothered me
we don't know
that
if she was drunk or not.
no, she admitted that she was drunk. She was coming from AC Deuces.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another fact that came out already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's literally, but my thing was like, all of that could have been because business owners hold
she
the
stumbled
right
in the video.
to ask you to leave.
Yeah.
And to deny you use of their, you know what I mean, their
Yeah.
facilities.
And deny your service or whatever like that. I mean, deny you
Now
service
you gotta
and stuff
prove
like that.
You can leave and prove that, like, okay, this is a racist establishment. They turned me away and made it that one thing. But once she was, I mean, under the influence, you have bad judgment and all that other stuff. But all of that wasn't necessary. So, but my first thing was, I'm hearing what people are saying. So I'm like, all right, let me see what's going on so I can make sure that I draw the right conclusion from this.
What's up,
then
Miss
when I
Hart?
watched the video, I'm like, okay, there's enough wrong here that happened here before for all of y'all to be tagging on extra stuff to falsify it.
Yeah.
So that really bothered me. So don't like try to mesh it up to create this image that's not there because that blemishes what you're trying to, the point you're trying to get across. Because some people won't look past your blemishes. So when I first seen it, I was like, okay, she was in the wrong until he started headbutting her and then choked her up and then slammed her over tables and all that stuff. That looked like a man-on-man bar fight.
Yeah.
I've seen that shit happen with two guys. So right there, once he started assaulting her, my anger flared up like, come on now, like that you disrespecting a woman, like chill, that's too much. Period. And to get her on the ground and start slamming her head on the ground, the headbutt from jump was too much.
That's what had me taken back because like at first I'm like, so I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, all right, why don't you just leave? Like, you know what I mean? And then because I didn't see that's like I just seen that this was crazy, like the video title, this is crazy or whatever, like or police shit or something like that. And I'm like, okay, why don't you just leave? And then I'm like, okay, maybe that's gonna get her like falling or something like that. I thought it was gonna be a funny thing, excuse me. And then I seen him like he's like, oh, you gotta go. Then he grab her and he's like trying to force her out, but then goes like straight into the head. But I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, a headbutt though? Like, you know what I mean? Like that shit was crazy. And then was like, why don't you listen to me? Why don't you listen? And then she falls out and he gets her all the way in the corner. And then you just see her head like whipping back and forth on the ground. I'm like, this is way too much. This is a woman. Like, and you already had her, like, you could tell from the video, you already had her beat in weight and stuff like that. They was about the same height, but you had her beat in weight. You're a man, so you're already physically stronger than her.
Yeah.
You took that too far. Or if you felt like she was being that much of a nuisance, like, you know what I mean? The police station is only right up the street. You could have called 911.
He already called the police, so he could have either waited for the police to show up and just like, you know what, I ain't gonna deal with her right now because she's drunk. I'm gonna call the police if she was drunk. You know what I mean? But I could, or you could have said, you know, once he gripped her, he could have just took her outside.
Yeah.
Because the door, she was already like her back was already to the entrance, so you could have just pushed her or taken her. I don't say push her, but taken her outside.
And my thing was the add-ons that bothered me. Because people were like, because before I seen it, that's what really fucked with me, really. Because it was literally like, oh, she wasn't doing nothing. She was trying to leave. She tried to run for help. Like, quit drawing these false conclusions. That's not what happened. She was talking shit all around the store, being belligerent. Okay, she may be pissed off. Okay, no right for him to put his hands on her. Then she puts her stuff down and tries to walk past the owner back into the store.
Yeah.
She wasn't walking there trying to get away or none of that stuff. He grabbed her arm and swung her around. Right. All of this is like within boundaries reason for me. But once he choked her up and headbutted her. So I'm like, once he choked her up and headbutted her, right there is where he's already in the wrong. Yeah. You don't have to add nothing onto it.
So this is what I want to say. So Eric just came just said something. He said compared to like, you know what I mean, you can compare it to if he was in his house. That's different. It's a business now. If, in a house, that's trespassing. You wouldn't have never invited someone in your house. Like, right. I mean, it is trespassing because he told her to go, right? Mm-hmm. But if someone physically just come in your house, like, oh, I want to use your bathroom or whatever like that, you wouldn't say, oh, you got to buy a bottle of water first. No, like, you know what I mean, that's a different circumstance for that. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, she still got the trespassing charge because she didn't leave right when they said leave. But, like, you know what I mean? If he was in his house, then he would have been justified, but because he's defending his home, like, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But being that it was a business, you're on the Hill District, you know, you have people. I mean, I'm not pretty sure she's not the first drunk person that came in that restaurant and ordered food and stuff like that. So you deal with that. It was just another thing too. He wasn't the owner; he was a manager. He is family to the owner, but he wasn't the owner of the establishment. But yeah, that is what we also got to do. We also got to make sure we got the facts. And then to Lamar's point, Lamar said if the guy didn't record it, then people could have denied the claim. I mean, right? I mean, that's true, and I get that. But also, as a man, just seeing that, you would have stepped in. You recorded the most part. Once you seen the headbutt, you already got that shit on camera. You got the headbutt on camera.
Right.
Then jump up and take action. That's my opinion. That's probably what I would have did. I mean, the lady looked like she was bigger than me. I'm not sure what all I can do. But, like, you know what I mean? I would have. Nah, but I would have helped. I mean, I would have been on her side. Yeah, just talking facts. Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, but the facts of the matter are that it wasn't in a home. It was in a business.
Yeah.
You know, and even if he wasn't the owner, let's just be quite frank. He may not be legally on the documents as an owner, but for all intents and purposes, he's the owner because he's the owner's brother.
Okay,
so
right.
He may not be like on the paper saying I'm part of this owner, but he's getting money like an owner.
Yeah.
He's running it like an owner. So for all,
I mean, I wouldn't say he's getting money like the owner, but I mean, he's probably getting paid regular than more than regular
and I'm
employees.
Sure
but
that there's something where maybe his name couldn't go in a contract, so he came on as basically like a silent partner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I got kind of upset because I'm glad he recorded it, but like you said, once he became aggressive and his hands got on that woman, he should have put the phone down and said, let me help her out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why I got upset. And then he did come back and apologize, stuff like that, but it's just at the point where, and the facts are that she was assaulted.
Yeah, she was.
It don't matter if she didn't leave or not.
And turned into excessive force.
Right. She didn't leave when he asked her to leave. The fact that he headbutted her and he started banging her head, it becomes assault. And
so, I mean, and then even just showing the facts again. Okay, she's a woman. That's a fact, right? Like, you know what I mean? So, and men are 9 times out of 10 stronger than a woman. That's another fact. And also, too, she was impaired. So that type of aggressiveness and stuff like that wasn't. I mean, because like I said at the beginning of the video,
she definitely was disrespecting his establishment. That was the case.
She stumbled a little bit.
More of the excessive force thing.
But disrespect, even saying words and stuff like that. Like, disrespect.
She wasn't breaking anything. She didn't. And actually, I've been to Peace and Milano's because I lived in Uptown. Yeah. I've been in there when people left the pin game or whatever game they left, or a concert, and they were in there throwing chairs, breaking beer bottles, and all types of stuff. They were never physically removed like that. They were just asked to leave, and then they called the police.
Yeah. What's up, Maya?
And I will bring this to a race issue. She was a black woman in there. Let's be honest. The Hill District has a lot of the Hill District is a predominantly black neighborhood, and he treated her like she wasn't shit, basically.
Danisha, you can just text our phone. Text our phone. The number's right there in the comments. 412-339-09. I'm sorry, that's the wrong number. 0922 is the number right there. Text that number, and we will call you. So. Yeah, that's how this works.
Go ahead and call, cuz. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my thing, like, and I definitely get where it's like disrespecting the establishment. You wanted her to leave and all that other stuff, but everybody tried to make it out to seem like it was a racial thing. It wasn't. Like, my personal opinion on that was it wasn't a racial thing. It was a domestic. It was in certain cultures where women aren't respected as men are. So you're told to do something and you should listen from jump. And I think that's where that pent up anger came from, is that, like, this female is literally just disobeying me. I've been telling her to do something.
See, I can't agree, because I've been in there when there was white females, white males leaving the Pens game or watching the Pens game, watching the Paris game, being disrespectful, breaking stuff, throwing stuff, touching people, trying to get behind the counters. You know what I mean? Because I lived only about 3 blocks away from there, so I've been in there when I've seen that in these. That it never happened to them.
Yeah, see, I can only speak from my experience.
Can go in there and just break stuff, and nothing ever happened to
them.
So
I mean, and so Kat just asked a question. She said, "Would there be such an outrage if she was another race?"
Heck yeah! The fact that she was, I don't care if she was white, blue, polka dot. green. The fact that she was a woman and he did that.
That's what made it.
My mind.
That's what got under my skin.
I mean,
Right.
Cat too. That's the reason for our topic. Like, you know what I mean? This isn't this isn't the topic. Respect black women. This is just it's talk about domestic violence, which domestic violence can cover
a man and woman assault.
Yeah.
Is
So
what this one is right there.
So domestic violence can cover a lot of different things that happens to males as well too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's mostly it mostly happens to women. But so. And we're not saying that, and that's another thing too. It's just like, you know what I mean. Even when I watch some of the protest video and stuff like that, I mean, me personally, I didn't like the fact that he was saying, "Oh, you're not going to disrespect our black women like that." It should, to me, the message could have. I mean, you could have said that, but also say a woman. Period. And then in the video I seen, it's like, "Oh, whatever you do to your wife is fine, but not our black women."
Yeah,
what?
see,
No,
that's
you can't give that
Single
message.
out. Like that's not
You
cool.
can't lump all the protesters together because everybody has their own opinion. You know what I mean?
Which
And
is true.
in this situation, it was a black woman. So in this situation, they're going to say our black woman. Now, had she been white, it would have said our woman. But in this situation, Jay is black. You know what I mean? But you can't lump all the protesters together because one or two people felt that, you know, that was their opinion. You know what I mean?
I get that, but I just think
And Bree, I agree. If she was white, man, people would have flew over and helped her. Like, she was white right now, she would be on like
Had a book deal.
Good Morning America right now. if she was white.
Pittsburgh Live TV.
well, they said
Past that. It'd been like Good Morning America.
They said
Right.
she was on Ricky Smiley show this morning and stuff like that. So she is getting covered in places, getting coverage in other places other than Pittsburgh. But like, you know what I mean, and it's sad and it's unfortunate that stuff happened
stay
to
off
her.
East House.
Yeah,
That was your first mistake. I'm just messing with you, Keisha. Don't be upset with me.
yeah. I mean, but mom, yeah, mom. Okay,
Miss Tawan's mom.
and Miss Tawan's mom. Yeah, I know.
Keisha, I'm gonna smack them for you.
At least I call you Miss Larry's mom. I mean, I call your mom Miss Larry's mom and stuff. You just gonna call my mom
honest,
Keisha.
Like I
But,
didn't know your mom's name.
I mean, honestly, I
always
think,
been Miss
and
Tawan's
to
mom.
Julius's point, I think if nobody would have stepped in, he probably would have killed her. I think he would have because the way he was hitting her
had
house,
severe injuries.
yeah, brain damage or something like that. Because the way she was hitting that ground,
And trust and believe, like we're just throwing like different feelings and emotions. Nobody's saying that he was right at any point.
Right.
So you might hear something that you don't like, but we're not saying he's right at all. He was wrong, and he deserves the charges, and they should stick. But you know how our judicial system is. People get off every day, but certain people don't.
right? I mean, Maya, we did cover that, Maya. We did say that the guys should have stepped in and did something about it once the initial blow did
I
happen.
think unfortunately we're in a generation where like how many likes can I get on my video?
Everybody wants to be.
Yeah, it's we're
go
too
viral.
Yeah,
and
record
be the first person
yeah.
to get this stuff out.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I have seen dead
Like I
bodies.
said.
I have seen people post dead bodies for likes. Like, who does that?
It's just
Like,
wow.
this is crazy.
it is pretty crazy. Lamar got a question. He said, "Do you think the domestic violence numbers would be different if a man called the police every time a woman slapped him or slapped or hit him?" I think
the
I
way
mean,
the society set up, he get laughed at for calling the police every damn
actually, I
time
have
a
to
woman
disagree
slapped him.
because right now I'm actually on a committee with some of the family court judges for the county, for Allegheny County, and they're actually working to recognize a lot of men that go through
Domestic
violence
abuse,
because
yeah.
it's almost like Larry said, sometimes it
That's
can be
what
a
I'm saying.
laughable offense.
Now I'm
Sometimes,
glad that you said
unfortunately.
that they're working on it.
Right.
But also got to know.
But also,
But there is a
problem.
separate hotline for. Well, a man can dial the national hotline too, but they do have shelters specifically for men who do.
Yep,
face
and we looked that up. But I think with men, it's just like our pride. It gets in the way, or our ego. Like, you know, what I mean, they don't want to feel less of a man. That's why they don't make the calls. So, and real quick, so what we're gonna
Most
do?
people be like, you couldn't just get out of it. You couldn't just walk away. You couldn't just do that. There's been plenty of domestic disputes where a man he tries to walk away. She gets in front of him, and because he forces his way past him, you put your hands on her.
So yeah, I mean, and that's true. So I'm gonna give y'all a couple statistics here. So it says every 9 seconds in the U.S. a woman is assaulted or beaten. Every 9 seconds.
Damn, seconds.
Every 9 seconds. So like, you know what I mean?
And you know what? Those are skewed numbers because it may be worse than when you actually think about it. Because this is kind of like the same thing when it comes to, like, not to compare it to rape, but how many people are actually reporting the abuse?
Yeah.
So how do you actually know if it's every
Right.
9 seconds? It might be every 3 seconds. It might be, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, okay, and so another statistic, 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men has been victims of physical violence by an intimate partner.
You got damn right.
So that's a third of women, and that's a quarter of men. So even a quarter of men reporting it is high for the male population. What I thought, like, I mean, when I first seen this, I'm like, damn. At least they're reporting it.
Think about how many men are afraid to report it too.
Don't report it, or
just like, or think that it's like, oh, that's just her being crazy. That's just her acting out. That's just her, like, she'll get over it. Mm-hmm. Or where it's like, I don't want people to think that I'm a bitch, or I'm just gonna get laughed at if I do this.
Yeah.
You know, and violence against men is almost portrayed in the mainstream media like it's normal. Like, and I'm gonna jump back to this years ago, but even Baby Boy, when she smacked the crap out of Tyrese, people was like, "Oh, he got smacked, ha ha ha!" Like, that's not funny.
Yeah.
He was just a victim of domestic violence. Like, you know what I mean? It's just not funny.
I mean, and it is, and again too, we're not just, and we just wanted to talk about domestic violence across the board, and not just single out any gender, any race, or anything like that. This is all across the board. These are statistics across the board.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Because it shouldn't be happening to anybody. Period. Another statistic. On a typical day, there are more than 20,000 calls placed to the domestic violence hotline. 20,000 calls per day.
You know, the unfortunate thing,
that's not 911.
Probably a quarter of those actually follow through with the call, because they call because they actually want help, and then they fall off into the cycle, and it just happens all over again.
Because we have this thing where, yes, the justice system is twisted, like severely twisted, but we have this thing where it's like, goes back to like with the kids and the parents, where it's like, this irked me when someone said this to me. I don't want to be their judge. I'm not God. I don't want to hold their life in my hands. I don't want to be responsible for them going to jail or something happening to them. But you don't realize that person holds your life in their hands every time they beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So at what point do you take responsibility and do your part?
Right.
And I understand fear and all of that other stuff. I'm not saying like everybody's going to respond the same.
Now, are you saying that the victim calling, or
the victim? Like, you were the victim. Yeah. You got beat and the cops had to come and rescue you, and you're like, no, I don't want to be responsible if they go to jail.
It's not that easy. And if you guys don't mind, I'm going to share a personal experience here. So I've never physically been abused. I have been in emotional and spiritual and verbal abusive relationships, but I am a child of someone who has been abused almost my entire childhood. So my dad was very abusive to my mom, something that I'm open about, to the point where the last thing I really remember, the last physical altercation I remember, is my dad broke into her house and he stabbed my mom in the stomach with a butcher knife.
Definitely, you know, appreciate it, mister.
It almost killed her, you know, and I was young, and my dad was, you know, on drugs at this point in time in his life, and he had to sit on his lap and until he fell asleep after he stabbed her, and we called the cops. And there's an article about this when it happened in the story about my mom, and my mom still protected my dad. Mm. Even still, you know, and I can't even tell you how many times I ran to homeless shelters as a kid, sometimes barefoot, sometimes without a coat. We would run to a payphone and, you know, call the domestic lines and go to like the woman's shelter. We would call our relatives and go stay with them, but yet we will always return. Yeah. You know, so I always knew as a kid that no matter how many times she called, my mom would return back to my dad, no matter what he did, even if he choked her out, and to the point where she blacked out. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's really not that easy for victims, especially when there's children involved. You always say, you know what, there's always a cycle of a honeymoon period where they hit you, they promise to never do it again.
It's that cycle of
pass and it
break it and fix it.
Yeah,
it's not that easy. You can't break it and fix it, especially when there's an emotional connection, when you're married, when there's children involved. You always feel like you can fix that other person or it'll get better.
No. I'm talking about on that honeymoon phase where it's basically it's a pimp ideology. You break a woman and then you make it better. She forgets the pain that she went through.
Right.
So this what I'll say too. Like, you know what I mean, guys. Like, you know what I mean, everybody watching and stuff like that. If you see something, say something. Report it. do whatever you got to do. Like, you know what I mean?
You can definitely report stuff anonymous.
Yeah, like, but see, and this is what we got to do, especially in our culture, and especially in the black culture.
We about to be called snitches, y'all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Advocate for snitching.
We gotta stop that stop snitching shit, because especially, like, you know what I mean, when it's like, you know what I mean,
Right.
nobody want to be a snitch, but when it becomes, unless it's them or somebody close
Or
to
their
them,
family.
right? Like, you know, what
I need to know who did it.
Yeah,
If you know, you better tell me.
Did it. So
it wasn't real.
Real quick, we're gonna make a phone call. We're gonna call Donisha in here real quick. So we're gonna give her a call. Just give us a second. Bear with us, guys. I'm about to make this call real quick. Let's see if she get it on the phone. Because she had a point of view. I think she was trying to get it, but just seen it. Like, I mean, well, the wrong number was up there. So we're going to give her a second, see if she want to give her opinion. So while we're waiting on that, yeah. So we got to make sure we say something.
Right.
We can't just let it ride or just be there to
You
record
ain't
the
snitching
video.
if you're saving somebody's life. That's not snitching.
Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, Donisha? You are live on Common Conversation 412, the
What's going
podcast. Yeah, so I seen your comment. I seen you was trying to participate on the in the show. You wanted to call in, so go ahead. Let us know your opinion.
About the abuse, or are we still talking about the Milanas?
Let us know about whatever one you want to discuss right now.
With the Milana situation, a lot of people I've seen, they were in regard, like, their biggest thing was, why didn't the lady leave? Do you know how many belligerent people walk into that establishment?
Thank you.
They're out of control, and they don't get beat, don't get their head beat. So every time I spoke on the situation, I don't care who the lady is. It could have been anybody, young or old, you know, college kid, to a doctor, to the woman that actually that happened to. You don't have to have, you can go anywhere. It's a free space. It's everything around life is public. Everything is public. You're free to go wherever you want to go. Spend money, use the bathroom. Everyone,
like
but all of my guy friends, they were just so baffled as to why she didn't just leave. I'm like, we all have either someone in the family or boyfriends or girlfriends who just wouldn't leave. Now, when I tried to prove that point, I got a lot of backlash, like, you know, she caused the whole thing, but she didn't cause to get her head busted up against the floor like that.
Right.
You know, all because she didn't want to leave. She wanted to use the restroom. They didn't let her use the bathroom. The gentleman, that person that was recording the video, she was coming towards him like, are you getting this? Are you recording this? And then he, like, grabs her up and, like, beats her up. So people are getting that so totally confused as to, like, why it happened in the beginning. She did not hit the man, and he even took his statement back about the fact that she spat on him. She did not do that, so that was another case of he beat this woman for no reason.
Yeah, wow. I didn't even know.
And she even offered to buy a bottle of water or a pop just to use the bathroom.
She had it.
Yeah.
But he still tried to make her leave.
She sure did.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and that's it's crazy, and it's unfortunate. Like we said, that stuff like that shouldn't happen to nobody. I don't care, even if it was a drunk guy in there getting assaulted. Like, you know what I mean, that shouldn't happen. Like, especially, like, you know what I mean, he followed the rules. If you want him to buy it or whatever like that, or you see that he's impaired, you're just taking advantage of somebody who is currently at that moment weak. You know what I mean, and it's not okay.
Yes, and my people, we are just too much. Our people are so judgmental. Oh, y'all, honest to God, I'm telling you, I've been scrolling for like the past week it's been happening. And everybody keeps making these posts, and they're like, well, you know, it ain't my family to be caring about. Why do y'all go so hard for? Y'all don't go hard for anything else. I'm like, if you don't speak for something as it's happening, you are very weak. You don't have the strength to speak up for somebody, an innocent bystander. You don't have the strength to be a person, to be a human. It ain't about race. It was never about race. It was just, this man just thought, I'm going to beat this woman. Like, I'm going to beat her up. I'm going to tear her up. And he was not forethought and saw somebody forcibly remove him from her.
And see,
I'm like, why do we
agree.
have to be the people who say, why? No.
And I agree. And people are so focused on, what about this other things happening in Pittsburgh? We can't focus on everything at once. We can only focus on what's happening now, because if you spread yourself too thin by trying to focus on so many different issues, nothing's going to get done.
Right, but this is what I'll say, though. And I'll say this even to both of y'all's point. I would like to see, as a person who, like, you know, I mean, we got a platform, we could talk about this, we can share, we can make sure the conversation doesn't die. But at the same time, like, how the unity was for this woman, I'll sit there and say, like, you know what I mean, this is her moment, and we're everybody supporting her, and she's like, you know what I mean, let her have her moment.
Right.
But before this die, because with everything it dies out and stuff like that, are we going to be doing the same thing about other causes? It can't just stop here with that, or we're going to still talk about it, even though this woman, her story may die, but like I said, every 9 seconds someone is being abused in a domestic violence relationship. So therefore, are we going to say something and stand up against this shit every day? We got to keep doing it.
Keep that same energy.
We got to keep that energy.
Find people that will just make their way in there because it's the thing to do right now. But if you're gonna stand up for something, continuously stand up. Don't sit up and stand up sometimes.
It's with domestic violence. It's with child abuse and child neglect. It's with rape. With homicide victims and stuff like that. There's no reason why we should wait till it hit one of our families and then we go out and talk about it. No, we should always be talking about it because we know it's an issue.
Whether it's the guy at Cafe Milano's or Earl up in the next apartment up.
Yeah, right.
It should be the same.
If you want to go there and say and demand justice for a guy who works at a restaurant, you should demand justice for your fucking neighbor who say hi and who make sure your kids don't get hit by a fucking car, or that you're playing with her kids, or that you want to borrow some butter or some sugar or some shit from.
But her husband come home drunk every Saturday and she's walking around with sunglasses on Sunday.
And that happened to me because we lived in an apartment building when my dad was abusing my mom, and I know they heard it. I know they heard the cries. I know they heard us crying. And nobody ever said nothing. Nobody ever said anything.
And it is crazy, and it's unfortunate that this happens. But
really appreciate you for your call, man.
Danisha, we really appreciate your call. Feel free to text us if you want to participate or you got something else you want to give your opinion on.
Definitely.
And we're here every Monday. Today's Tuesday, but we do our show every Monday due to the weather at 6:30.
So thank you for joining the conversation. This is Common Conversation.
And we are out.
It's
over. Bye-bye. Yeah, so and that's the point, man. We gotta sit there and
keep that same energy
and keep that good. And she made some good points. And she was well spoken and everything. But again, too, it's not. And then we're not trying to take it away from Miss J. The problem
we're trying to broaden that type of energy. We're trying to broaden that type of positive message. We're trying to broaden it. Don't water anything down.
She got hurt, but this may be the momentum that we need to
build it up. Everything starts off with something that's messed up. Just like it's messed up to say, but I heard whenever I sit there people were laid back until Emmett Till went through what he went through, until his mother forced to have an open casket and it displayed the horror, which was her son's mutilated body. And then a lot of shit started to change after that with Jim Crow and a bunch of other things.
Right.
So this may be that thing that starts to build the momentum just to get the ball rolling.
And that's what we need.
And that doesn't take away that it was wrong at all.
Again, to the point, we just can't stop. We can't stop. We can't give up. We can't let it die. We got to keep talking about it. We on the platform, we talk about different stuff that's going on across everywhere, but we also we talk about a lot of different stuff, but we have this platform to help keep the message going, to help to get the message out there. Because this is this is one of these things like our show, it's not always complex conversation, but it is always common conversation. We got to make this common. We got to make this like a common conversation. We got to talk about this. We got to advocate for change and promote change.
And this is the craziest thing, is that this is the most I've seen individuals' problem being posted, but as soon as you see something about a starlet or a superstar or something, their information is plastered and everybody's sharing it. Everybody wants their stuff to be on their timeline, but when it comes to somebody that's actually down the street from you, I didn't see as much exposure as I would see with a celebrity.
Yeah. Right.
That's crazy. And this has gotten a lot of exposure from what it is. And if we're capable of this, we're capable of we can do this all the time.
Right. Can I just mention, I'm not going to say happy, but I'm just really, I'm going to say happy how the mayor of Pittsburgh responded.
Yeah.
Because, Pittsburgh is a very segregated town, city, and right, it's very segregated, and we actually live in one of the most racist cities in the USA. So for him to respond that way and really stand behind Jay and the cause and the movement and recognize that that things happen, especially to African American women.
Yeah,
I definitely clap for him in that.
Yeah,
moment.
I
can't agree with everything he does.
That was
for him
good.
in that moment.
Appreciate it, and we need to keep making this forcing this stuff out there, because a lot of people really don't want to respond or be a part of something when they're not aware of it.
Yeah.
So if you're able to share the newest song, or you're able to stay up on fashion, you should be able to stay up on this with just as much. You know what I mean? Importance.
So Lamar said, "What was the conversation amongst us as Ray Rice when his tape came out? We didn't have this show then, but at the same time,
and we were all too young.
Yeah, like, I wasn't young. That was like that was 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, it was.
I thought that shit was bad.
I'm thinking about. I'm sorry.
OJ. She went way to OJ.
Yeah, but
she went to OJ. Yeah, we was too young.
I don't recognize names from football. But I just talk about.
Yeah, but when he, even that shit was bad. That shit was crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Like, again too. But I feel like even to the NFL,
he said amongst the black people. Okay, so we're taking it personal. He wasn't talking about what was our conversation. It was
no. But I'm just saying. But what I'm saying, I know what he's saying in general. I mean, a lot of people. I mean, but then it got turned.
You want to know what it turned into? Can I say this? Is that they said, well, they're still together, so why does it matter? And he got money, so she better not leave.
First of all,
that's what it turned to, and that's the sad part. But that's what was the conversation that I was
appalled by the video, and I was like, oh my gosh. And people turned it to, well, she hit him first, and I don't know who hit who first. And I'm not agreeing with violence against women or anything like that, because I grew up in that household. But I just gotta say, women cannot hit men and expect not to get hit back.
You can't be responsible. I'm not saying that she did it. I'm just saying you can't. What did Whoopi Goldberg say?
Let me finish. Women hits hurt. I know if I were to strike Will, if I were to punch Will in his face, it's going to hurt, because I'm going to make sure it hurt. So, and if that happens, I will fully expect him to hit me back, because I can't be saying, oh, I'm a woman. I can't hit you and say, oh, I got pulled a car, I'm a woman, and you can't hit me back. No, I stopped you and I expect you to hit me back.
So, and Whoopi Goldberg said it the best, where it's like, that we're not saying that it's okay. No man should hit a woman, but you cannot be surprised, because you can't assume how someone's going to react.
Yeah, till you fucking
and
up.
You know that there are abusive men out here, and there are men that will hit women. So why roll the dice? Respect one another. Period.
Yeah, Miss Bates. You know what? I want to say I really fuck with you, because I'm liking your comments. I like the conversation on the phone. Like, you know what I mean? People will stand in line for the new Jordans, but won't support a good cause and stand up for one another.
I won't even I won't even purchase Jordans anymore.
I mean, I don't do that.
My thing is, I don't purchase Jordans for these couple of simple reasons. First was, I watched them in a video where they made a challenge, like, and you have all the money in the fucking world. You may have a gambling problem, but you have all the money in the world. That's like, yeah, just, if they win, you get everybody in here gets Jordans. You don't pay for them. You're just gonna take a little bit, not even a noticeable loss. Period. And there was only like 100 kids in there. You buy everybody in here Jordans. You let everybody get a free pair of Jordans, and he whooped that kid's ass. You're so competitive that you literally sat there like, come on now. Everybody looks up to you. You could give back a little bit. Right. And I mean, whenever I found out that he's invested in prisons, and whenever I found out that he literally, somebody in Chicago put out an advertisement congratulating him for all the great work that he's done and for winning, and he sued him because he used his name.
Wow, I didn't know that, but I'm not trying to make this a thing about.
He's a great basketball player. Best to me.
We will stand
personal person.
As people, we will stand in line for the for Jordans and stuff like that. Which is crazy. I'm just saying us as a culture, because that's what
I get it. I'm just messing.
Like, you know what I mean? But
I totally agree.
So
that's too much. It's too much, especially where so many people that literally love you and look up to you and want to be nothing like. I mean, nothing, but want to be you in every way.
Yeah,
but they don't know the bad parts of you.
Right.
So, okay.
Or I ain't even gonna say the negative parts of you. No, that was bad. That was
so a couple more statistics, and we want, like, while we're keeping the conversation going, 19% of domestic violence. 19% of domestic violence involves a weapon. 19%. And it says, wow, guns in a domestic violence situation increase the risk of homicide by 500%.
And Derek, I want to comment on Derek's comment. I don't know if you want to share it in public, but I want to say I'm so sorry that happened to you.
What? Oh yeah. I did have a pen. Yeah. Yeah, D-Murph, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm really sorry that happened to you, and it's so unfortunate, you know what I mean? And it's even more unfortunate that the police didn't take you seriously as a victim, because you were a victim.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I just want to say I'm sorry, because that's
yeah, I mean,
and
it do sucks, and thank you for sharing, because I know that takes a
lot.
Some type of vulnerability. Wow, come on, I'm almost struggling on it's a gum probably, but like, you know what I mean, like
Too minty.
I mean, and thank you, D. Murph. I do want to say that. Another fact, this one is about our actual in our Allegheny County. It says of 102 people who died of domestic violence last year, well, in 2016, 56 were shot. 56% was shot.
Wow.
So I've really seen people get into assault and domestic violence where that weapon is just what it is. It's just another way of control and another way of striking fear into the person that they're abusing.
Yeah.
Literally, because you don't know what that may accidentally happen, and you don't know what possibly could happen. So it's just another form of control. And then sometimes people don't be meaning to do it, but you sitting here you're caught in the moment of your aggression and aggravation and what you think, and then after that you regret it. You shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. Because you'll have so many people that go to jail like, I didn't know what I was doing, but you knew you were hurting someone.
Right.
Yeah. And so I guess so Lamar took it back to Jordan real quick. He said Jordan it says Jordan hired all black staff when he was working, I guess. Had a sector in Nike. And then it says, and all of them were black when he for the Hornets organization, because he had some, I think he was part owner in for the Hornets. So I mean, like, you know what I mean? I mean, granted, like, you know what I mean, that is some of the positive stuff that Jordan do. Like, you know what I mean? Even that story, like, you know what I mean? I mean, he could be teaching that kid a lesson even with your story, but I still think it was fucked up. He still, even if he beat the kid bad, he still probably could have got the kid's shoes.
And that's stuff that I'm learning about positive, but that doesn't take away the negatives either.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't. I mean, to me, it doesn't either.
You had all black staff.
Okay. 1 in 5 children are exposed to intimate partner violence each year.
What?
And 90% of them, I'm sorry, 1 in 15. I'm sorry, I said 1 in 5. 1 in 15. But 90% of them are eyewitnesses.
And I can definitely say, as a child who grew up in a home that was filled with domestic violence and this abuse against myself and my siblings too, that if you cannot leave for yourself, leave for your children, especially if you have a daughter. Do you want your daughter to grow up to date a man like that? Or you have a son, do you want your son to grow up and be a man like that? You know what I mean? Because I can honestly say that even unintentionally, you end up dating a man similar to your father. And I didn't date a man who physically abused me, but I dated a man that had the same challenges as my father. Alcoholism, struggling on drugs. And I thought, I can fix that man.
Yeah.
And somehow, maybe subconsciously, I thought, if I can fix this man, I can fix my dad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
where did you get the starts from?
Yeah, well, she was talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, so if you can't leave for your children, I mean, for yourself, definitely leave for your children, because you don't want them to grow up thinking that this is the way to love. Because in my house, I grew up thinking that if somebody loved you, they hit you. Because my dad hit my mom and my mom hit me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's all I knew as love. And obviously I grew up and I knew that was wrong, but you know what I mean? Nobody could blame me if I grew up and got into a relationship that was domestically violent, because that's how I experienced love.
That's how you're saying it. So, Angie, where I got the statistics from, so I looked up, there was a few places, a few resources that I used to get the statistics. Most of the big number statistics came from the National Site for Domestic Violence. I forgot the name of it. But if you Google it, it'll pull up there. I was trying to find numbers that was current to at least 2017, but 2017 just ended. So even the 2016, that was the most recent statistic that I was able to get. And you can go on sites and break it down to our county, but a lot of it goes by violence and death and stuff like that. So you really got to look for it. I don't have it up on the computer no more. I'm sorry for that, man. Next time I'll make sure I put this stuff out there. But this is what we also wanted to do. If you feel like you are in a domestic violence relationship and you need help, we're going to give you the domestic violence hotline number. That number is 1-800-932-4632. And that's a hotline here in
That didn't sound like enough numbers.
Pittsburgh.
Try that again.
1-800-932-4632, and you can call that. And
it's a local resource.
It's a local resource here, and they'll help you with your situation, try to, like, you know what I mean, provide you with resources on getting to a shelter and stuff like that, and making sure you can leave safely and stuff like that. Brittany got some more information for those guys.
Broader range.
The national. Like Tawan, it's like a fever. National hotline, but I implore you, if you can't remember that number, call 211.
Yeah.
And they will also assist you. But for the national hotline for violence, and this is for men and women, you can dial 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 1-800-799-7233. Now, if you also have an Android or Apple phone, you can get the app RU Safe. That's capital R, like the letter U, Safe. So that's RUSAFE, and that's an app that you can use, and they can link you to, and they can help you find resources in your area.
Right, and you know what, Angie, too. We know that domestic. I'm sorry, I'm calling you Angie, but you got Angela up there, but I know you as Angie. But we know that it is hard to remove yourself from a domestic violence relationship, and I know even with that it takes time, and it'll take for a certain thing to happen for you to say, you know what, now I'm like this is enough is enough, I got to get out of here. Maybe it might take you having children or whatever the case may be. We're just trying to encourage women, like, you know what I mean, I know it's hard and stuff like that, but whenever you feel that you can have the strength and the power to get out of there, then get out of there. There's places that will help you and support you and support your children. And it's anonymous, so nobody will even know where you're at. Nobody will know where you're at. Even some of the places, like, you know what I mean, I drove school vans for a little bit. A lot of the places I didn't know, like, you know, I had to pick up a kid out of shelter. I didn't know it was a shelter until, like, you know what I mean, like, I think that the mom told me that's what it was, but I didn't know it was a shelter.
Right.
So even when your kids in school, you go pick up, it might look like an apartment building, but it was a shelter. So you won't know that you'll be safe in these places, and they try to help you, keep you safe, and there's not, like, visitors can't be allowed in, and even the women there were supportive, because I remember when I was dropping this kid off, sometimes the mom wouldn't be there, but one of the other residents who was there, was going through there, was making sure her son was being taken care of and stuff like that, and being watched until she got home and stuff like that. So there is a lot of support.
Can I add something to that too? And I want to know that people, because this also plays into, because there's a statistic, I don't know it off the top, where there are people that find suicide as a way to get out of that, and they believe that that's their only option because they can't physically do it. And I want to throw out the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number in case you want some type of mental assistance to prepare you for moving on to the next step, and make sure that that's not a part of your life. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-8255. And like all of these will give you a lot of resources and a lot of help with being able to move on or helping you get out of that situation. Yeah. And the suicide, because a lot of people will get out of that situation, become depressed, and think that they can't live on or can't move on. And that's another resource for you to, you know what I mean, help you.
Right. And
I agree. Sorry, Tawan. I agree, Angie. Sometimes the media does glorify it and tell you to be ride or die. I mean, but there's nothing special about that. And the women's shelters nowadays, I can say they're definitely changing. I'm actually on a committee for families against violence for the county, and the women's shelters and other shelters are a part of that committee who are trying to make the changes to, like, PFAs and things like that. So but moving to a shelter is to get you emergency, like, out of that situation. Not necessarily there for a long-term thing where they get you back into school and a childcare, but they do help you get resources to where you can move out on your own and then help you go back to school and childcare. But it's not meant for you while you're standing in that shelter to go back to school and childcare. But there are emergency childcares like Angel's Place. That's free, where you have to be working at her school, or it's another one. Jeremiah's Place, which is an emergency child care for people who are in...
Thank you, Ashley, for sharing that number as well.
People who are in domestic situations, you can call different places like 211, and they'll give you emergency child care centers where you can take your child to child care centers to help you. And also CCIS, when you're facing homelessness or you're facing some type of violence like this, they do have emergency funds which will allow you to place your kid into child care.
Yeah,
So it's definitely another resource.
And too, like so, I think that's what it was. Pennsylvania's Coalition Against Domestic Violence. That's another place you go on there and find some different stuff. Even if you know something, like, you know what I mean? Too, if you see something and you see somebody's behavior change, that's one of the signs, like their behavior change and stuff like that. Just ask, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Is there anything
And
I can
people
help you
don't
with or
realize
support you
that that's
with?
one thing that actually helps people gain courage, knowing that they have somebody else that they can depend on.
Right. And
Right.
somebody see them, because a lot
And Resolve is a great resource, Ashley.
yeah,
Thank you.
yep, Ashley, yep, thank you, yep. And yeah, that is a good resource.
You know, but
can
it's
call
not even about
Resolve.
the behavior changes. I can say mainly really look for the people who's always smiling, somebody who's always happy. Because I was always the happiest, smiliest kid in school that you can find. Same with my mother. People wouldn't even know that my mom was being abused because my dad normally hit her from the shoulders down. So unless you would see like her take her jacket off, you wouldn't even know. You know what I mean? And sometimes when she did get hit in the face, she caught off work because one of her kids were quote unquote sick. You know, until her face healed. So definitely watch the people who are always smiling, always happy, because they're normally dying inside, and they want somebody to come to them and say one time, "Are you okay?" And it took my teacher in kindergarten pulling me to his side saying, "Brittany, I know something's wrong." And I'm like, "I'm cool, I'm good." She's like, "No, something's wrong," and I finally broke down. But she had to literally ask me about 3 different times what was wrong before I can finally tell her what was going on at home with my dad and with the abuse to my mom and the child abuse that I was facing at home. So definitely ask, and don't make it a thing where you're trying to like, oh, let me help you. And you know what I mean? Then you're posting on Facebook like, oh, I helped this girl and her kids out. That's so...
Yeah, that's you shouldn't do it for
some type of
recognition somewhere. To Darius, I just want to say, like, you know what I mean? Some shelters might be full, but there is other resources and other things that services different resources will be able to provide you and make sure that you're in a safe situation.
There's emergency shelters specifically for domestic violence for men and women.
Right. So
they have rapid rehousing too.
Yeah, you'll get the help that you need if you call that number
and they may turn
you let
you
someone
away,
know
but they
you need
usually
help.
steer you in another direction.
No, they won't turn you away. They won't turn you away.
Not turn it away, but I'm not saying turn away. Like, I'm saying like, we can't take you, but I got these people. We're going to figure this out.
Normally, if you go to one of these,
211,
like PAR will help you out. Right. The Coalition Against Domestic Violence. If you go there and you go to one of these organizations and sit there and talk to them, not one of the actual shelters, but one of these organizations, they will help you find a bed somewhere.
Right.
I mean, that's what I mean. I didn't mean like turn away. That was
I'm just saying, but that's just something.
That's where if you use 211, it's a great resource. They have like all the shelters linked, and it can tell you, okay, this shelter is specifically for women who have children. You know what I mean? They may be full right now, but there's another shelter a little further out, and they can help you get the transportation to get there. So it links almost all the county resources are now in one place through the 211.
So Kat, I just want to say something to you. I feel like emotional abuse do heal. It just takes time. I think you can heal with time. Everyone can heal. In my opinion, everyone can heal with time. It may be harder for you to heal from that. But I feel like if you're willing
to try,
and if you're willing to try, and if you just say to yourself that you're strong enough to heal and move on from this, then it can happen as far as the emotional abuse. But I mean, that's also when you get yourself out the situation.
You may not heal 100%. Nobody's saying everything's going to be perfect and you're going to be willy-nilly to where it was before any of this happened. That may not never happen. But you can become a better person and reassure yourself that things can be better than what it was.
It
may not be 100%. You may have those scars, but it can be better.
And emotional, I feel like emotional abuse lingers longer than physical abuse. I definitely agree with you, Kat. And I agree with you, Nisha, too. It takes faith. So when I left my emotional relationship, because I was in one prior and then I got married, and that was also an emotional abusive relationship, and now I'm engaged, I had to really kind of find myself. And I was single for about 2 years before I even entered and met my fiance. But even when I did, I thought I was like, okay, I'm good, I'm over it, I'm healed. The minute he said something to me, it triggered me back to my marriage. I'm like, hold the F up, who are you talking to? So now I'm getting angry with him as if he was my ex-husband. And I had to really kind of think to myself, is he doing it out of love, or but I couldn't compare him any longer to my ex-husband. I had to separate the two men because they weren't the same.
Right.
I wasn't dating the same man. And once I really got over that hump and saying that he's not my ex-husband, and he's not here to hurt me like my ex-husband, then only then could I actually move forward and accept that love and kind of heal from the emotional abuse. But it took me, and it really took him loving me properly for me to kind of overcome that emotional abuse.
I mean, and yeah, I mean, and thanks for sharing. Brittany shares a lot of different stuff. Again, to Kat, I feel like, you know what I mean. Just say to yourself that you will heal, you will overcome it, and you will do better for yourself and for your children, for your niece, your nephew, for whoever, like, you know what I mean. But mostly for yourself. You can't do it because you want to do it to make this person happy. You got to do it because you want happiness in yourself.
Right.
And it's going to take time. And everybody's time is different.
Right. With that being said, people, this is Common Conversation 412. We are out. We will see you guys next week, Monday at 6:30-ish.
If the weather permits.
If the weather permits. I want to thank all you guys for participating in the show. We really
love you guys.
We really appreciate it.
Stay strong out there and
love
continue
yourself.
to have
Remember,
the conversation.
love does not hurt.
And let us know what you think about the show. If you can, if you get done watching, go on our page and just give us a quick review. And hey, make sure you look out for each other. If you see something, say something. I am your host, Token.
And I am Mano, M-A-N-N-O.
And I'm B Brown.
And
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week.
I knew you were going to say something.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them.
Token and Mano, Pittsburgh, what it do? We in the city of bridges, we in the city of smoke. We in the city of rivers, so you don't need you a moat. We in the city of haters, so you just might need a coat. Or at least bring your jacket.
Before we leave, I just want to say one more thing, is that I don't know about y'all, but I may not know any of you guys personally, but I'm one individual. If you need somebody to talk to, and I'm pretty sure this goes across the board for all of us, you can talk to us. It doesn't have to be a part of the show. It doesn't have to be a topic. You can talk to us. We definitely are willing to listen and give you our outside view of what can happen. And we're willing to research information for you guys and help you move along to become better yous. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I just wanted to let that be known.
And too, you can always message us, and like you said, you got the text number. You can text us. The text goes out, and it comes to the phone. It goes to our email, and you can always message us on Facebook. One of us will respond. One of us see it, and we are really supportive. This ain't just talk about us. This is some stuff that we do, and that we live by. So.
Yeah, I apologize. I just had to stop for that. But back to the outro. Thank you.
And I said, I wrote in there for anybody, if you need me, inbox me. I definitely have a few resources I can give you guys. I can't fix it all, but I can definitely stand next to you, support you, advocate you, and help you get over whatever struggles or challenges that you're facing.
All right, back to the outro.
Cause man, the city get cold. Yeah, man, the city is frosty. Yeah, man, the city is costly. But yeah, the city is mine. For 1-2 times. Well, you know that we grind. Cause you know money is time. And you know time is steady ticking. So I gotta get mine. Then it's time to come up. So put your hands up. Let's all live this life before death interrupt. Ain't no time for mess up. Man, you better get with it. Arithmetic that I'm spitting. Now do the math as you listen. Common conversation. 412.